Welcome to Point of View, the program that lets you be part of the discussion. With this week's topic and guest, here is your host, Kelly McGuire.
Welcome back to Point of View. Our guest tonight is Mr. Stanton Friedman.
Aliens to visit to see what's going on, but it's the easiest place in the country to hide anything. And the government was very good at hiding what went on. That's the subject of the big news since I was. People say I can't talk about it because they said they'd killed my family and, you know, nice things like that. So he wrote a formal 3-page letter to the Secretary of Defense, Les Aspin, asking for a briefing and a written report about what happened to theorists and UFO buffs.
Would this be mistakes that were made on purpose?
I don't think so, no. I think the guy didn't bother to do a station. I think it was the CBS local station there. Had a question on, every day they have a question, a poll question. What do you think about this? Their question was, do you think the government covered up a crash flying saucer in Roswell in 1947? 93% of the people who called in said yes.
Okay, I'm going to get you to hold that thought for a minute. We have
Okay.
a call coming in. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, good evening. Assuming that there are beings visiting the Earth, in your opinion, are they from within or without our solar system?
But more importantly, I was just told today that some new witnesses have come forward to his office. And that's one of the things I hoped would happen, that they figure, how can you punish them now? And they've got somebody to talk to whom they can...
Hadn't you made the American government nervous? I mean, there
Maybe I have, and I didn't answer your question about why the cover-up, and we'll get to that. But I've never been threatened. I'm very public. There have been wire service stories, do lots of big television programs and stuff. Certainly somebody knows about me. And I've been told by people who know people that, yeah, they keep tabs on me. I can't worry about it. I've had Air Force colonels sitting next to me who tell about their side. If it's going to be false, you don't use them. Well, we argued about it, and the show had already been on. So the show was a milestone of not very good stuff on flying saucers. There are a couple of things coming up. I was just interviewed last week for a Fox Network show that should be on in late February. Preliminary title was Hidden Agenda. We don't know. They may be harvesting other things with the ova and the sperm as a distraction. We really don't know what they want from us. That's one of the questions I'd like to answer.
Is this what you do for a living?
Study
UFOs?
Well, that's part of it. I'm a nuclear physicist, so I do consulting work from time to time. And over the years, before moving here 14 years ago now, I worked on a lot of highly exciting, far-out advanced nuclear and space system development programs. More canceled programs than anybody you can imagine. But yeah, I spend an awful lot of time lecturing and writing and researching flying. Second, the subject represents a kind of cosmic Watergate. That doesn't mean everyone in the government knows. That's not how you keep secrets. A few people in major governments, including Canada and the U.S., have known since 1947, when 2 crashed flying saucers were recovered in New Mexico with bodies and wreckage, that indeed some UFOs are alien spacecraft. Third, that none of the arguments made against the first 2 conclusions by a very small group of very noisy negativists, as I call them, debunkers, if you will, stand up under careful scrutiny. It occurred, that crash, 75 miles northwest of Roswell, near a little town called Corona.
And there were actually dead alien bodies discovered in this
Dead bodies, wreckage. That's, the book is Crash at Corona, incidentally. Another crash occurred about 160 miles west out in a really remote area of New Mexico.
Okay, what happened to these bodies that were discovered?
Who knows? We know that they were carried off by the military. We know some of them probably went to
So the
Wright
military
Field in
has some
Ohio.
knowledge of these alien bodies.
Well, I think you have to understand, New Mexico was a hotbed of highly classified advanced research and development activities, and still
New Brunswick, have there been any
loads of
reports?
sightings here, sure.
Is that right? Any
Whenever I
evidence?
speak at the university, 10% of the people in the audience will have seen one. I'm aware of abductions here.
What
There were
about
videos
strong
taken.
evidence? Has there been
Well,
strong
there have
evidence?
been physical trace cases here. One guy's collected 4,400 physical traces. This is where the saucer is seen under near the ground.
Right.
And after it leaves, one finds the equivalent of burn circles, burn rings, landing gear marks.
So
that
these
sort
aren't
of thing.
peanut butter cups making
No,
these circles?
no. Yeah, isn't it amazing how saucers have entered into the commercial realm?
Right.
It sells candy, Reese's Pieces, among other
Okay,
things.
whereabouts have these sightings in New
All
Brunswick
over
been
the
reported?
place. I've spoken over in Sackville. I've spoken down in St. John. Spoken here. There were some sightings a little over a year ago over in the Woodstock area. There was some footage taken there, video. A lot of people now have camcorders, so
Right.
we're getting that sort of stuff. There were sightings up toward Heartland. with film being taken, which is a little unusual for me. I'm obviously not a rock group or groupie. And there was a publicist involved. And every time I turned around, I was taking the train all over England, and there'd be a new list of interviews I was going to do, faxed to the next hotel. Anyway, I did more than 20 interviews, television, radio, newspapers, and stuff. And what I found is, while the response was great, the interviewers absolutely knew nothing about the subject. They'd read a few tabloid stories, and that was about it, and they didn't think there was anything to learn. Considering the level of relative ignorance of the facts, the data, the solid information, I found this at my lectures too. After talking about 5 large-scale scientific studies, I asked the audience how many people here read this and this, and in many cases it was none. Back to the original person because they're dead. But and that's what I'm hoping will happen, that more people will say, well, gee, everybody's talking about this. I can't go to my grave and not tell my family that, yes, it's true, I was involved.
So the people involved,
This is 48 years ago.
they're pretty much...
Well, most of them are dead. A lot of them are dead. We're racing the Undertaker is my line.
Why wouldn't they talk?
Because several things. This happened in 1947, 2 years after the war. These guys were working under security. Almost all these people would have been people who were in the war. They understood that when you were ordered not to talk, you don't talk. Saying it would be as effective today.
Was it a question of maybe their lives being in danger?
Well, that was the other, that's the not so nice side. In both these cases, there was strong intimidation and many other people that I've talked to. When the sheriff's granddaughter says that her grandmother told her that the sheriff was told, while the grandmother was present, by the military, this is in Roswell, that if you ever talk about what you saw, we will kill you and we will kill your family. Granddaughter's horrified. Did you believe them? Yeah, I was there. I believed them. I heard it. When you get that same tone from many different people, you realize that they're playing hardball. And people, especially older people, where they need, in the States, medical care, veterans and stuff, or they're getting a pension. One of these guys had been in the military for 30 years, clearly getting a pension, wife getting a pension, and so forth. They got everything to lose and nothing to gain.
Was there ever an instance where you feel that somebody may have talked and that sort of a threat may have been followed through?
Very good question. I don't know of any specific example, no.
Chances are we may not ever know, and it
That's
may
right.
have happened.
People die all the time. You hear stories. Yeah. I've had 3 different people, not directly connected with this particular story, tell me that they worked in very highly secure stuff and casually, not happily, but casually said that, you know, Stan, they kill people for talking about this kind of thing. And they were very serious. I don't lecture all over the place because they're going to throw eggs at me. I've never had an egg or a tomato or anything thrown at me.
That's amazing.
700 lectures, and I come on very, very strong that some UFOs are alien spacecraft. We're dealing with the cosmic Watergate at Eastern Europe. Remember 6 years ago?
Does this make sense to you, caller?
Oh, this is great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for calling.
Didn't know she was listening on the phone. But now, the whys are a problem, and I try to get people to understand that what we really need to recognize is that the future of this planet, the next millennium, if you will, which starts pretty quick,
right,
is going to be interrelated with space. I hope we can qualify for admission to the cosmic kindergarten. We're certainly not the big shots in the neighborhood, that's for sure.
Okay, I'm going to get you to explain that term, cosmic kindergarten, in just a minute. First, we're going to go to a caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, good evening. How are you today?